Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. You're here and we're here. I'm so excited. The 1st of April 2022, we happen to be at the Patio, which is a lovely restaurant and lounge in Bukoto. Now today I have someone who is well known for his magic fingers when it comes to hair, and he kind of shocked Kampala back in the day when he had a huge launch for his hair studio. Now you may know him as Hair by Zziwa, but his full name is Kennedy Zziwa. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
So yeah, do you remember how people were like, what? We're being invited to a hair studio? And there was champagne, you had an MC, there was entertainment. I mean, how did you decide on that?
Well, initially before that, I wasn't in the country. So when I came back here, the kind of business that we do, because we're in the vanity business,
Yes.
hair salons, people always know their people. So nobody knew me.
Wow.
Then I knew that if you're launching a business, one of the ways to launch a business, you need to launch with a bang. So that's the bang that came in mind. Because I knew my people, yes, I knew my people love drinking and they love nyama. So it was just about drinking and meat.
I know. We were just like, okay, this is so
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are Ugandan.
Yes, I am.
Born here?
Born and raised here.
Okay, born and raised here. Where did you
Yeah.
go to school?
I went to Buganda Road.
Buganda?
Then I went.
Like me.
Oh, really?
Buganda Road, yes.
Hi, Mr. Almeida.
Yes.
Yes. So Buganda Road, Library SS, and Makerere University.
And then when did you go to China?
I went to China, I think 2011, 2012, immediately after my degree, my bachelor's,
Okay. What did you do?
computer science.
Computer science.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
Practice?
Yeah.
In the business, yes, now.
Okay, in the
Yes,
business.
not entirely, but at least I know business ideas, how to manage a business. All these are course units that you learn in computer science.
Okay.
Yes, and then I also run the business based on systems, management systems
All right.
that I studied about, but I don't create myself.
Okay. Is
Yes.
that what you wanted to do?
No, I was born, like I said, born and raised in Africa. You know the drill. Study hard, go to university, get a job. But during my final years, when I realized that I'm not meant for employment,
Okay.
because by then I was a bit.
I'm sorry. How did that happen?
No, because I knew myself. I think I would get fired every day if I was to get a job. I'm one of those people because I was a bit.
What you mean? Like you work in your own timetable?
Yes, I never used to. I wasn't a morning person. I used to party a lot,
Okay.
and I still wanted to continue partying.
Ah.
And jobs always require you to go to work early.
Yes.
And early, it was time for me to go to bed. So I knew I couldn't.
Okay.
So I knew I couldn't work anywhere.
Okay.
It's one of the reasons why I couldn't. So I had to study. I had to get a practical course as well, so that I could do something that could get me income without worrying about.
Okay.
the
So had
challenges
you
of employment.
experimented with hair by then?
No, apart from my mother and grandmother.
Oh.
Yes,
So
once
you
in
do
a while.
your
Yeah.
mom and grandmother's hair?
Then when I was little, I used to play with their hair.
Okay.
When I was young, in our home, we're only boys,
Okay.
and I'm a firstborn.
You're the first
So
born.
yes, I was also the first grandson. So I was loved a lot by my mother and also loved a lot by my grandmother. So they would let me play with their hair. My mother used to love makeup, so she would let me. I used to watch her do makeup, lipstick. You know, she was very girly. You know those girly people. So she would used to let me play with her polish,
Oh.
her lipstick, yes, things like that, and her hair, and my grandmother too.
And your grandmother too.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess they're not so surprised.
I don't know. They wanted me to be the traditional things of lawyer, doctors, engineer. But I kind of disappeared from them when I was joining the hair industry because they didn't think there was going to be any future there.
Okay. So you didn't have the support when you were
No, I
starting.
didn't have the support in the start, no.
Okay. So you decided that you didn't want to get a traditional job. Like I want to party. I want. So
Yeah.
how did we leave the country? When did that happen?
During my final year, my grandmother has a friend. She lives in the States. So her friend is Liberian. She has a Liberian friend. Then Liberian friend was trying to set up schools in Liberia.
Okay.
And because of the previous war, the Charles Taylor War, there were no teachers in Liberia. So I was his contact. She recommended to get teachers in Uganda.
Okay.
I was his contact in Uganda. So when he came here, he liked the way I did the work. That I was looking for teachers, for hiring. And then he gave me an opportunity to go with him to Liberia to go and see his projects in Liberia.
Okay.
The school projects, yes. When I got there, I was there for 6 weeks. But I didn't like the weather.
Okay.
So I decided to leave and come back.
Okay.
When I came back here, I started missing the different culture.
Okay.
You know, you know how you can love different cultures. So when I was in East Africa, I enjoyed the culture there, and that was the moment I decided to go to China.
Okay.
Yes, and China, because the visas were easy to get then.
Okay.
It wasn't like America or the UK. And
So
and
you,
also that
you
was also
left
the,
for Cheo?
no, I just gone for as a tourist.
So you went for a holiday
Yes.
first? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
I'd gone for a holiday. And when I got there, I decided to stay. Because by then I was a very impulsive person. Very
Okay.
impulsive. I just woke up one morning and I said I'm going to China.
Okay.
Because people were talking about China. That was when China was the new talk in town.
Oh my.
So I was curious, like, oh, what's up with China? Let me go check it out. So I went to check it out. When I reached there, I was on the streets because I didn't have enough pocket money. I was on the streets walking and I found some Ugandan girls speaking Luganda. And I said hi to them. Then they told me, because they asked me, what are you doing here? Because I was really young, 22. There are not so many Ugandan males in China.
I'm trying to understand. You just went to China.
Yes.
You didn't know anyone there.
No, I couldn't even speak the language.
And you went to Beijing.
Guangzhou
Oh.
first.
Okay.
Yes. I reached via Guangzhou and there were so many Ugandan girls doing, what's it called, self-employment? Yes. So in the morning, I spoke to one of them. They were a group. They were going back home. So I spoke to them and they asked me what are you doing here. I told them I've come to Huiya. Because I was just curious, I wanted to move around. And they told me, okay, Nyango to their house. They have a house. Ichiyumba. They call them the Yumbas, where they're all living in the house.
Yeah. All
So I reached
together.
there and I found one of them working on another person doing their hair. And then I asked them, can I help? At first they thought I was joking. And then when they agreed, I did one braid. And the girl that I was being worked on, she liked what I did. Because she said, oh, you're better, this one's even better. So she asked her colleague to stop. And then I had to finish the entire head.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Ha! How did that go down?
No, because they were just helping each other. Because there were
Okay.
not so many hairdressers that side.
Okay, okay. So
And when I
freed
was
her up
done-
to work on somebody else. then.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when I was done, all the girls were asking, can you do weaving? Can you do this for me? So I'd already gotten skills on how to do all that stuff.
Okay.
Yes, then that's how I decided. And in that moment, I decided to stay in Beijing.
But you said that you're self-taught. Like you've learned nearly everything on YouTube?
I did basic training from Tina.
Okay.
Just the
okay.
basic training.
Okay.
Yes,
Before
I
you
did,
left.
Yes, before I left.
Okay.
I did basic training, then I set up a small salon in Gaza, in the village, because I wanted to practice. I couldn't practice from
You
town.
see, you had jumped over that part. Okay, okay.
Yes, during my final year at campus, when I realized I couldn't work in offices, when I made the decision to go study something practical, I went to the Tina school. It was
Yes.
also close by. But I only did one term, one semester, out of 4.
Okay.
So I only got basic knowledge on how to do like the cornrows, the braiding. And because I didn't have support from home, I was using my own pocket money, the money I was given at campus. It wasn't enough, so it was only 800,000 I was left with by the time I graduated.
Okay.
So the 800 is what I used as capital to set up
open
a
a
salon.
small place.
Yes, it was
Ah.
really tiny, very low key. The sinks for carrying buckets of water and you pour outside. You have to carry jerry cans of water inside. I was the cleaner, I was the CEO, I was the hairstylist, I was a receptionist.
Everything.
Everything,
The
yes.
business was you.
Yes, I was the
Okay.
business, yes.
Okay.
That was before I went to Liberia.
So you got some practice and
Yes.
everything.
Yes,
Okay,
certificate practice, yes.
so you decided like, okay, I can do this after the ladies gave you
Yes.
an in.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then the ladies kept paying. Every time you worked on them, they kept paying me.
Okay.
And that money, of course, compared to the money I was making in Uganda then as a hairdresser, it was more.
Yes, that's good money.
And also because I was demand,
Yes.
and the girls kept saying, oh, we need you around, we need you around, I decided to stay.
Okay, but how was the living situation?
Interesting. Because it was a house for girls that work in the nightlife,
Yeah.
during the daytime is when I would try to sleep.
Okay.
And then in the nighttime, they would sleep during the daytime, then I would have to sleep in the nighttime. But during the nighttime, whenever they would get clients, they would ask me to get up.
Okay.
Yes, because their clients would get scared to see a man in the house.
In the house.
So whenever they bring a client, they would call, hello,
So you would have to go outside.
I would either go outside or hide in the bathroom.
Wow.
Then the client, then they would go to the bedroom. Yes. So that's how weird it was. But that was bad for the first 1 month.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So during that 1 month, I didn't like the whole situation, though, whatever that was going on. And then there were also so many drug dealers there in Guangzhou. Then one of them recommended Beijing, the capital city.
Ah, okay, okay.
So I moved from Guangzhou to the capital city.
Did you know, did they recommend someone that you could move to, or you just went
They
again?
did recommend someone, but even that someone wasn't there by the time I got to the train station.
So what happened?
Well, I reached there, and the money that I had, my savings, because he kept saying, Linya cab, use a taxi. So I took 3 taxis to reach where he was.
Okay.
And I thought he was going to accommodate us, because I had another friend that was also moving to Beijing. We thought he was going to accommodate us, but he didn't accommodate us. He took us to a hotel.
Okay.
Yes.
The real hustle.
Yes, so when we reached the hotel, there were also so many Ugandans that were taken that side to go do English teaching. Because there was a time when English teachers, for them they were looking for jobs as English teachers, but they had paid, that come from Uganda directly to Beijing.
Okay.
For me, I was from Guangzhou to them, but then I met them when they just arrived. So what I would do, it was more like a lodge kind of setting. We used to have Mama. Mama was like the caretaker of the space.
Okay.
A lady, we used to call her Mama. She was Chinese. So what I would do, I would always sneak in and go sleep with my friends in the single rooms. Because me, I didn't have money for accommodation. Yes. But of course I had to be just to sneak in because I didn't want her to see me.
When you look back on those days, like, did you have fun? What do you remember about that time?
As a young person, because you are in that stage of, when you're young, I don't think you really care about anything. All you care about is fun. During all that moment, I'm always a positive person. I always look at the bright side. Even during that time, we used to drink lots of beers. And the beers that side are this big, not like the beers here. So, and they're very cheap. Only, I remember it was 3 kwai. 3 kwai is like very little money. So we used to drink lots of beers. And when you're tipsy and drunk, you don't think about whatever challenges you're going through. Yes.
So you'd work and then party.
Yes, you'd work
which
and
was kind
party.
of what you were looking for,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and that's what we're living for. Because you work, they used to call it work all day and party all night. Yes, that was more like our motto then.
Okay, okay. So you said you were in Beijing for 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years, okay. So
when I was in Beijing, I worked, and one time I also met another lady that was working for the Ugandan embassy, because Beijing is the capital city. That's where all the embassies are. Yes, so I met this lady that was working at the Ugandan embassy. She had a salon in Beijing, but she didn't have a worker.
Okay.
Yes, so she hired me. I worked in her salon for a while, like 6 months, 3 months, 6 months. Then we separated because we didn't agree on so many terms. She wasn't keeping her promises.
Yeah.
And I decided to move to another salon that was headed by a Jamaican.
A Jamaican? Beijing, okay.
Yeah, so a Jamaican had a salon. He was Caribbean. He had a salon there and he was meeting so many cool people. He used to work on the cool people. That's where I went and called him. I just told him, hi, I'm a hairdresser and from Africa. He said, okay, come in. And he hired me on the spot.
Okay.
Because by then I was very good with people and I was also, let me say, talented.
Yeah.
That's what they used to say.
Yes, own it. Own it.
Okay, own it, yes.
Yes.
So he had me on the spot, and that's where my journey started.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
proper journey.
Okay.
But it's like
Now
after
really
a whole
working
year.
in that business.
Yes, but this was after like a whole year of up and down, running up and down.
down.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
A lot of crazies.
So was he also hands-on?
And no, he was just an owner. He was just an
Okay.
investor.
Okay. Yeah.
But he used to hire. Remember, there's another lady from Cote d'Ivoire, and then another from Congo.
Okay.
The ladies that I used to work with.
Did you miss home?
I don't know. Then I don't know, because I used to drink a lot. You know, I used to be intoxicated almost every day. So I don't remember having a lot of like bad feelings like of missing home or, yeah.
So it was either focus work and
Yes.
then just...
Yes. And also in my mind, I had this thing of I have to make it work.
Yeah.
Because I'd graduated with people in my computer science class. So they're working with big companies. They were making some money. And me, since I'd chosen the other path, I was also trying to prove a point to them that you can still make it.
Make
Or
some
even
money
better.
over there.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, as a hairdresser. So I was also trying to make my hustle work out for me.
Okay.
By fire, by force.
Okay.
Yes.
Were you able to save in that time?
Being a firstborn, I used to send my money to my mother for school fees, for my siblings, and upkeep at home. I started saving 4 years later.
So like the year before you came back?
Yes, the year before I came back. Because I started making some good money in my 3rd year in China. Yes.
Okay.
So the first 2 years were always confusing because you have to settle in, you have to get your own accommodation, uh, um, capital, you're growing clientele, and as you're also looking after people back home. So it
Was the
took me
cost
3
of
years.
living very high because you're in the capital?
No, it wasn't
Not
for
really.
me. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right.
And then I also used to share accommodation with some of my friends.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you
So we
said
used to split the rent.
you only started saving after your 4th year.
Yeah, in my 3rd to 4th year, that's when I started
Had
saving.
you decided by
Proper.
then you wanted to come back?
No, I actually, even when I came back, I didn't have plans of coming back.
Okay.
Even starting up the salon, I didn't have plans of starting up the salon.
Okay.
So during my final year, the last year, I got into a partnership with an Egyptian guy.
Okay.
He was an Egyptian barber. He was very popular. I'd been there for so many years. So he had a huge clientele.
Okay.
Me, I was bringing in the black people clientele in the
Yes.
business.
Yes.
So the partnership worked out well for us. When I came back to Uganda, I was planning on moving to Europe. I was moving to Berlin because I'd always wanted to live in Germany.
Ah, so that was the plan, to go to
Yes,
Germany?
yes, before yes.
Okay.
But when I got to Kampala, before going to Germany, I had to come visit my mother because I hadn't seen her in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Family, yeah.
Okay.
By then, I used to have my dreadlocks.
Yes.
I went downtown to wash my hair, and I didn't like the service that I got. I was in the salon. There was another lady in the salon. They charged her less money that I was charged. I just wanted to do a wash and set. Rather, just wanted to do wash and go. Another lady did wash and set. I was charged more money for wash and go, and the lady for wash and set was charged less.
Why?
I asked them why. They couldn't explain. The guy said, "Ezoduredi." That's the
Okay.
response he gave, yes, Ezoduredi. And in that moment, that's when I said, let me set up a salon here.
Okay.
It was very, just in the moment.
Okay.
Yes, so I set up, because I also realized there were not so many salons that were giving proper service.
Yeah.
They couldn't explain what they were doing. They didn't know what they were doing. There was
They
a
were
lot of
just
confusion.
gambling,
Yes.
many of them. Yeah, we went through the gambling,
Yes, yes,
many of us.
Yes. So that's when I said, let me set up a salon. I used to love Kisementi a lot because I used to be in Kisementi a lot. Yes.
Okay.
I got a broker and he got me the space that we got. The tiny space how we started.
Yeah.
Because it was the only
Now it's like,
available
I don't know
space.
how many, you've taken like
4 shops now, yes. Yeah, 4
Okay.
shops, yes. It was the only space available, and that was the space we took. Then I had a plan of growing, because I knew if neighbors kept moving, we kept on expanding.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the idea of the launch, you knew you had to make a splash. You had to
Yes.
do something big to get
Yes.
attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
To
There are
get-
people I know that you've worked with since then.
Yeah.
Like you hold on to your clients.
Yes.
They come back years and years and years and years.
Yes.
And that is unique to very many places.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be like your secret?
I think because we care a lot to our clients, and then also we pay attention to our clients.
Yes.
So me as a hairdresser, there's so many things that I can do with somebody's hair.
Yeah.
But when you come into the shop, just because I can give you a runway look, it doesn't mean I need to give you a runway look. I need to first understand you, your
Yes.
personality, your things you like, things you don't like. So I usually start from there. You have to listen to the clients. That's the biggest challenge with the people here. They never listen to their clients.
Yeah, they think they know what they're doing.
Yes. Some clients come in and they don't want, let's say, like for my case, I have brown hair. If I was a client, every barber in town would have convinced me to put black dye in my hair. But me personally, I don't like black dye in my hair. I want it
Yeah.
like this. I don't mind it. I'm very comfortable with it. So, but they keep on pushing. No, take a mood dye. It will look better.
What they think will be
Yes.
best for you.
Yes, but don't listen to the client because you need to first listen to the client what they want and then you give them that. So that's always a secret. Just listen to your clients because this is a vanity business.
Yes.
People are vain, like they just
And some people just want to be different. They want to have
Yes.
their own unique look.
yes.
But
yes.
also another challenge I've seen, especially for hairdressers like yourself who've made a name for themselves,
Yeah.
is you have your clients who are like, they only want to be worked on by you.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit of a trick because
Yes.
you have to make sure you train people
Yes.
who provide the same kind of service, the same standard.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
For us, what we do, for my case, what I do, when I'm hiring, I first hire personality before the
Okay.
skill. That's also another problem that people have here when they're hiring. They hire skills instead of personalities. You need to first hire good personalities and then the skills, because a skill can be learned,
Yeah.
but a personality can't.
Yes.
Like people just have bad attitudes, bad.
Yeah, and you don't want to go back. You're just like, I'm never going back there.
Yes, however good they are.
Yes.
So for us, what we do, we first get people that are willing to learn, people that are very flexible, and then we start training them to reach a certain level. Because we have standards. We say our haircuts must look a certain way. There is a minimum because we have that room for being flexible. We say a haircut can look, the lowest it can look must be this.
Okay.
And then the best, of course, there's no limit to the best. But we have like a minimum standard. We say
Yes.
when a person comes in for a haircut, the time, we allocate time, like a minimum of 1 hour, because our haircuts take an hour, and the services included within, like they must be met for a client to pay full service.
Okay.
If we skip on any of those, the client doesn't pay.
Okay.
But not just haircuts only, but everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of businesses start and then fail.
Yes.
They have ups and they have downs.
Yes.
Hair by Zziwa. Tell me about your hair studio. Was there
Yeah.
ever a time where you're like, this is not working?
As the salon, I don't think so, but me as a person, I was probably going to be the biggest problem to the business.
Because of your personal.
Yes, because of my personal
challenges.
struggles, yes.
Yes.
There was a time when I was going through an addiction and I was spending a lot of money on my addiction because
Yes.
it was a very expensive addiction. And I ended up in rehab.
Yeah.
So during that time when I was in rehab, which was also expensive, I started touching rent money for the business. So they even shut down they put a padlock on the salon.
Oh no. Okay.
Yes, and I was inside the hospital, so couldn't access money. I didn't have money. I had to call my uncle to bail me out, and my grandmother.
And your grandmother.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
So I
right.
called my grandmother and uncle, and they bailed me out on rent money. And I couldn't afford to pay it back because it took me a whole year to get back into business
Wow.
and to settle, to get out of the raid. So I paid her back after an entire year. Yes.
Okay. You've been very open about your addiction struggles.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
To mention it, thank you too.
Because these stories are so powerful.
Thank
So
you.
when did you first, I mean, you talked about like your time in Beijing. After being a student, you just wanted to party, you used to
Yeah.
drink a lot.
Yeah.
Can you look back and see when your addiction really started? Was it then?
Because with addiction, I don't know if you can know when it started, but at least you can remember the bad habits that led to that. My first time to experiment with alcohol, I was at campus, university, but it was just one beer. It tasted bitter. I told myself I'll never try it again, but I didn't even finish my first beer. I just had like a quarter.
like, ugh.
Oh, that's not my thing. I used to have a sweet tooth. Then after like a month or two, bandwagon. So you're out partying. Everyone, people are drinking their beers 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, they're like, but I'm not a quitter. This is embarrassing. I need to finish this. And then you try to finish the second one, but still a real struggle. Then eventually you get into it. Don't know how, but it's not very bad then. So when I was in Beijing, I'd already learned how to do the beers, to drink once in a while. And it was a party life. Cocktails as well. Because cocktails can be sweet.
They're sweet
Wines
and
can
they
be
can
sweet.
put in so many different things in
Yes.
there.
So you keep on learning how to drink. My first time because I also did a bit of cocaine. My first time to experiment with cocaine, I'd already gotten used to the beers and the alcohol and the whiskeys. So I used to drink and get extremely high. Because of the schools that we went to, when you're so young, you're trained that drugs are bad
Yes.
and dangerous.
Yeah.
So I always known drugs are terrible, so I would never experiment. This particular time, when I was in Beijing, I'd already met all the cool people because I'd worked on cool celebrities, diplomats, even worked on some presidents. And these are the kind of people I used to hang out with. One time we were at a house party and they were serving cocaine on trays, like on lines. It was a house party, private party. And I was the only black boy there. So I didn't want to look out of place. I was
You
already
felt the
looking out of
pressure.
place. Yes, I felt the pressure. And then I also said to myself, if these rich people are doing this, how about me?
Yes.
Yes, so I also experimented the first line. I didn't like it. Same experience. Because you feel like, when you go swimming and then water goes through your nose, that kind of pain that you feel, that's how it felt.
Oh, like when,
Yes.
the pressure.
Yes, the pressure, yes. It was very painful. I said to myself, no, I can't do this. But after like 30 seconds, after the high had kicked in, it felt so good that I'd even forgotten about the pain of snorting it. And then, of course, you do another line. In the morning when you wake up, you're like, no, I won't do this again. Then after a while, after like 3 months, 3 months, you experiment again one more time. Because drugs are always readily available anywhere. Even right now, it's just a phone call. It will be here within latest 15 minutes we can get anything, any kind of drug. So, and the kind of circles that you meet, hang out with.
Yeah.
So I did
A
that.
big part of it.
Yes, I did that, and I said myself I won't do it again, but I ended up doing it again. So towards the final year of Beijing, of leaving Beijing, it's one of the reasons why I had to leave Beijing, because I was overusing it. I'd started using it at least once a week or twice a week, but the cravings were starting to grow, the urges were growing.
And it was expensive, isn't it?
But then in Beijing, it wasn't so expensive for me because my friends were buying it for me.
You weren't the one footing the bill
I
yourself.
wasn't footing the bill, yes.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of rich friends. When I came back to Uganda, I didn't think I would also find cocaine in Uganda. That was before I made the decision to have the saloon here. One time I was in a club. It used to be solo. I went to the bathroom, I came out to the bathroom, and one of my friends, we weren't friends then, he had put his glass of whiskey by the thing. I knocked it, it fell down.
On the bathroom counter?
Yes. So it fell down, and then he came, he was also high. He came there, like, you're going to buy for me 2. I was also drunk, so I told him, 2, you get 10. He was so insulted. He called the bouncers on me.
Oh no.
And then the bouncers were also my friends as well. So they were confused, they couldn't take sight. When he realized that the bouncers were my friends, he was curious because he didn't know who I was then. So he called me to his car to go and talk. So he had cocaine in his car. Yes.
Okay.
By then he was selling cocaine then.
Okay.
Then he gave me a line. I was so happy in that moment. We became very close friends. We became best friends.
Imagine,
in that moment, yes.
after being ready to
Yes.
even...
Yeah, from there, because I didn't think there was cocaine here. So his aunt that showed it to me here. And then when I decided to stay in Uganda, I was like, I can have everything that I want here as well. And so the addiction, I feel like it started when I realized that it was cheaper here than it was in Beijing.
Oh wow, okay.
Because in Beijing, once in a while, of course, your friends are going to buy for you, but not all the time. So a bag of cocaine would cost around $100. But in Uganda, $100 will get you 3 bags.
Oh my.
Yes. So it
Okay.
appeared to be cheaper then, because in your head, you know, a bag goes for $100,
Yeah.
300,000, around 300. And then here, it's going for 100,000. And it's this little, because just a gram, very little. So here, we're getting 3 bags for.
So you're like, this is way better.
It's even way better, cheaper, and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
That's where the addiction started. Just in my head when I assumed it was cheaper.
So you're like, I can afford this. Okay.
And I could afford it then. Because that's when also the saloon that started. And remember the partnership I'd gotten in Beijing?
Yeah.
When I told him I wasn't coming back, he had to sell off my shares and send me my money.
So you got money to
Yes.
also help you
Because he
set
also
up.
came in a lump sum.
Okay.
South Reach.
You were feeling flush at that point.
Yes.
Okay, I do
Yeah.
remember at the launch, you were there with your wife at
Yes.
the time.
Then, yes.
Yes, yes. You met her in Beijing.
Yeah, we met in Beijing.
Okay, okay.
In the salon, I was working on her.
You were working on her in the salon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay.
how we met.
Did she come back here with you, or was it just for that time?
When I decided to come back here, we had ended things because I told her I can't do long distance. When I got here, she missed me a lot. And then she said she also decided to relocate to Uganda. But when she got here, she didn't know people here. So we were in a relationship that was very... I was her everything. Like I was her parents, her friends, her best friend, husband, stuff like that.
Okay.
And it was too much on my side.
Yeah.
So I also started using all the time because I didn't have like breathing space. Yes, because like everywhere I go.
So it's like your handbag, or you're like a
Yes,
handbag?
yes, yes. And for me, it was too much for me.
Okay.
Yes, and then that's when she also found out that I was using the drugs. Because one night I got so upset with her. But I got so upset and I decided to do it in front of her.
Oh, and she
Yeah.
did not know before that?
No, she did not know.
Wow.
She suspected, but she did not know.
Okay.
She got so upset in that moment and she decided to leave.
And go back?
Yes, and go
Okay.
back.
Are you still in touch?
No, we lost touch.
Okay.
We were in
Okay.
touch then for like 2 months, 3 months after. But then afterward, we realized it wasn't going to work out. Because also the culture. I wasn't willing to go back to Beijing,
And she
I
wasn't willing
didn't
to live here.
to stay here forever. Yes.
Yeah, that's difficult. Okay.
Yeah.
So you talked about the addiction, like it first became a real thing for you when you're like, I can afford this. And
Yes.
it's accessible. I
Yes.
can find it around me. When did you know like you had a problem now?
The problem, there's a time I had 2 phones. There's a night I wanted to use 3 bags because I was using so many bags in a night.
What?
I was using daily.
Okay.
There's a time I was using daily, but I didn't think it was a problem then because my friends were also using also on a daily, and everything seemed okay. And some of my friends have families, they have kids, and they were using. They would go back home to their kids. Everything was okay, and I didn't know it was a problem. So one time I wanted to use just 3 bags that night. I just wanted to use only 3 bags because it wasn't going to be like a whole night. In my head, I'm like, just 3 bags. Yes, so I said to myself, I'm only using 3 bags. But before I went back home, I went to see my friend, and then I lost one of my bags. As I was driving home, because in my head I'd already put in 3 bags, I knew I needed a 3rd bag, but I didn't have cash on me. The shop had already closed. I called my supplier. I asked him to get me a bag, and then it asked me for leverage. I gave him one of the phones. As I was handing him an iPhone, I said to myself, I can't lose an iPhone for just 1 bag of cocaine. So I asked for 3 more. At least if I'm to lose it, let me lose it for over 3 bags. So I asked him for 3 instead of 1. So during that time, that's when it hit me that I've started mortgaging things for drugs. So that was the moment I realized it. So I said to myself, let me use tonight, let it be my last night, and I'm checking into rehab in morning.
Did you?
Oh yes, at first I called my friend because I didn't know there was rehab in Uganda. I called my best friend. We were going to the airport to Nairobi. And then a friend of ours told us that there was a rehabilitation in Butabika Hospital. But I didn't think it was there. But then we said to ourselves, let's just go and check it out. But I was really high and tired, hungover. I was having withdrawals. When we got there, I woke up, I opened my eyes, and the place was green. Butabika Hospital.
Yes.
Because I knew I was going to Butabika. I was thinking I'm going to find crazy
It's
people,
so
mad
beautiful,
people.
though.
Yes, you've been there?
Yes, I have.
So when I saw it was green and serene, and that was the moment I realized, I just said, yes, it's okay. And I was also tired. I didn't want to go back home.
Yeah.
So I got admitted. I was there for a month. And when I came back, I started getting on the clean path, my sobriety.
Okay.
That's when it started, yes.
Okay. Okay, so you managed to do your 1 month of the rehab?
Yes, I did 30 days.
Yes. But you relapsed again.
Yes, I had a relapse.
Because that's part of this journey,
Yes,
yeah?
it's part of the recovery. Because and most people don't know that, especially parents to addicts or relatives to addicts. They're not aware that a relapse is also part of the recovery journey. Yes.
Sometimes it takes a few times before someone really is able
cleans
to
up forever,
completely
yes.
let
I've
it
had
go.
like 2 relapses,
Okay.
but I stopped talking about the relapses because my people, my countrymates, the way they react to relapses, especially on Facebook, they'll tell you stuff like "tukoye."
Oh man.
They'll tell you things like "I want to cancer." You're just there, like they don't understand mental health.
Yeah, they
They
don't.
still think you're pretending or acting, or you're just being silly.
So you must have been on quite a journey then, because even when you go into rehab, that's when you go through that difficult part,
Yes.
which is, taking care of your mental health. That journey of mental health is a very difficult one. And that's
Extremely.
why people end up in addiction. A lot of people have an addiction because they can't face certain things or deal with certain things or cope in life.
Or fit in.
So what was the thing for you that, you discovered about yourself that surprised you?
Anxiety. The therapist, when I was there, because you get to meet therapists, and then they get to diagnose you. Of course, the first one was alcohol and drug use disorder.
Yeah.
And then eventually...
Alcohol and drug use disorder?
Alcohol and drug use disorder.
What is that?
Addiction whereby using drugs, where you need drugs to cope.
Okay, to help you cope.
Yes, or you do not understand the dangers of over-drinking. Or you don't understand the dangers of using drugs. Like let's say you're dying, you know you're going to die, but you still get the injection to inject yourself. You can feel the heartbeat, but you
can't stop yourself.
You can't stop, yes. So that one's a disorder. And then, of course, eventually, the anxiety, and then also OCD.
OCD? You have OCD?
Yes. So but mostly on the compulsive side.
Okay.
On the obsessive side.
Obsessive,
yes.
Okay.
Because when I wake up and when I'm in the shop, my team, because I've learned how to deal or to understand it. Because with therapy,
Yes.
but before, everyone has to be that 8, not 801, but 8.
8.
Yes.
Things have to be
Yes.
done.
And then clients, everything has to be done a certain way. People have to listen. So for my case, because nobody, I would think things that were common sense to me, they were not obvious to other people. And the struggle to fit in or to cope, to understand people. Because whenever I would drink, I would chill and let things go.
Okay.
But when I'm sober, whenever I was sober then everything was difficult. For example, we need to be there by 8, then people are not there at 8, you get anxious, you're all over the place, you're all over the place.
Yeah.
Yes. But when you drink, even if people are late, you chill.
You're like, hey.
Yeah, it's okay, hi, you made it. Yes. But before that, or like when I'm sober, like you're so tense, anxiety, yes. So
Yeah.
those were the challenges. So those are the things that used to lead to my drinking. And then also, I think it was like social anxiety kind of thing. Because I was working in a salon.
Yeah.
And I like things to be perfect. And then I'm also dealing with clients. When a client walks in, I need to, hi, how are you? So that would get me very anxious. So, but whenever I would drink, it would be a lot easier to socialize with people.
Okay. Okay.
And that's why, I don't know if you also noticed, when I'm drunk, whenever I would party, I used to party a lot outside with people.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I sobered up, I've not been in a bar anywhere. Because now I'm in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to deal with people. Because I'm
That's
also
also
shy.
one of the hard things about getting, going sober.
Yes.
Is you have to let go of certain scenes,
Yes.
certain people.
Yes.
And if you're saying a lot of your friends because of the crowds you had,
Yes.
you do this together.
Yes. Even when I have a relapse, I reach out to those people. Because those people understand. I understand them, that we understand each other.
Yeah.
But when I'm sober, I can't reach out to them because I'm boring to them or they don't understand me. I'm either boring
Well,
or
they
they're
feel
boring.
you're judging them.
Yes. So and then I also, because I have different friends, the relapse friends and the sober people.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's good that, despite all these personal struggles, your business continued to. Yes, you had a rocky
Yes,
patch,
yes.
but continue to thrive.
Yes.
And you talked about you hire people based on personality
Yes.
rather than skill. So
Yes.
a lot of training was going on.
Yes, a
I
lot of
guess for
training all
people
the time.
coming in. So when did you start the
The
academy then?
The academy started, I think, a year after I sobered up.
Okay.
That's like 3 years ago. So we started, our first year was within the salon.
Had you always wanted to do that?
Training people. People used to reach out to me and say, I want to come and learn. Do you teach? Do you teach? Do you teach? My inbox was full of, do you teach? I want to learn. How can I learn? And then when I was sober, I used to have a lot of time now for the business. So during the free time, I said to myself, let me start training people that are really interested. My first student was a relative to one of the nurses that
At
looked
the
after
hospital?
me in the hospital, yes. Because she told me, I have a boy at home, he's seated, he's doing nothing. Can he come and study from your place? So he was my very first student. And he's doing well, Apuli. I don't know if you know Apuli hairstylist.
Yes.
That was my very first student. He's now doing really well. I brought him to the salon. Then with him, we started advertising. Like I just put a poster out. We are training now. And then people started coming in, pola and pola. A time reached when we had more, we would have more students in the salon
In the
than
salon
clients.
then,
Yes, so clients would come in, there was no space for them. That's when we had to get space in Banda,
Okay.
outside.
Okay.
We needed to start somewhere.
Okay. So your academy is in Banda.
Yes, it's in Banda.
Okay.
So we also needed a place, a location that were near university campus,
Yes.
place where you can get people that would love free services to be trained on without complaining.
Yes.
Campuses.
Have you heard? Do you live around Banda?
So we offer
Okay.
free services that side. But
Okay.
of course, it's students doing the services.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you start your own product line then?
Uh,
Because
the-
I saw Zziwa beard oil and I was like, beard oil? Okay.
We also started the products also after I sobered up.
Okay.
Like I said, I used to have a lot of time. And then whenever I would see products on the market, Ugandan market, some of them, they're never manufactured by hairdressers.
Okay.
Most of the products are created by business people.
Business people or chemists, I guess.
Yes,
maybe.
yes. But I mean, usually the inventors, the entrepreneurs are just business people. They're not really hairdressers.
So is
Like
this
for my-
because like a lot of natural products are better
Yes.
for hair?
And then I also understand As a hairstylist, when you're at the sink,
Yeah.
I know we need, let's say, sulfates in the hair to clean the hair. But also, as a naturalista, they also know the dangers of sulfate. So me as a hairdresser, I would understand the amount of sulfates that we need in the hair without destroying the hair.
Okay.
You understand? So most of the products were either too naturalista, internet, or too business oriented, like extreme. There was nothing that was perfect for,
Okay.
yes, as a hairdresser, yes. So we started manufacturing on products in Polampola. I went to URI. URI is a Uganda Industrial Research Institute. It's a program
Yes.
started up by the government. Young people, you can always apply. It's for free. They train you how to manufacture things, foods, alcohol, sanitizers, everything. So for me, I went to the cosmetic category
Okay.
department. Yes. When I have weddings, like on Fridays and Saturdays, I have to get up at 3 a.m. I'm up at 3 a.m. Let's say I have 4 weddings or 6 weddings in one day. I have to make sure everyone is done by, let's say, 10 or midday. So I wake up early in the morning, I do that, and then I'm either supposed to go back to the salon or I go back home and then I watch movies.
Okay.
I like spas a lot, so I'm
Okay.
always in spas. I feel like I've been in every spa in Kampala.
That's how you treat yourself.
Yes. So I like spas, I love massages, and then, but it's mostly massages and movies and good music.
Okay.
And then I also like to read a book.
Okay. Okay.
So that's how I spend my free time. But most people find it boring, and I don't understand
Because
why
that
they
means you're
think-
comfortable with your own company,
Yes,
you see?
yes.
You don't
I
need
enjoy-
to be entertained all
yes,
the time.
Yes. So I enjoy being by myself. So I read a book, I listen to good music, and then I love going to the spa. And I also enjoy working with people because I enjoy meeting my clients, interacting with them.
Yes.
So whenever I'm there,
I feel like you're such a people person. So when you said before that you're very reserved, I'm like,
Yes.
okay. Although you
Personally,
did explain also
yes.
you had some help at some point.
yes, I got some of this. But I also enjoy interacting with my clients because I enjoy listening to people. But I don't know, because it's my workplace, so it's supposed to be defined as work, but for me, it never feels like work.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. So when you look back, what are you proud of?
First off, getting off the addiction, like fighting the addiction. That's my biggest achievement in life. It's not been easy, but it's been a beautiful journey for me. It's opened up so many more opportunities. When I was using, I would meet so many people. You'd meet so many people, but these are people that are. But when I sobered up, the kind of people that I'm also meeting, you're meeting
Yes.
people that are probably impacting the community, giving back to the community. So these are people that are inspiring me to be better. Yes.
Yeah. I
Is that
understand
better?
what you mean.
Yes. Even the kind of people that are reaching out to me now, they're different from the kind of people that used to reach out then.
True. Because I think people forget. I mean, partying is nice, but you lose so much time.
Yes.
And time that you can be doing something meaningful
Yes.
with. So I think that's what you mean. I
Yes.
totally get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is very exciting. I
Thank
mean, if
you.
you get your certification, you can get your products out there. Are you looking at opening maybe another branch at some point? I mean, what are your plans moving forward?
I'm thinking of franchising.
Okay.
Franchising, yes. Because we don't have proper franchise in the country yet. But I was thinking of franchising because it also helps to reach out to other people so that you're not just the only person over the place. Because I'm always reaching out to other salon owners, always advising them what to do. Because I feel like we need to work together
Okay.
to manage the market.
Yeah.
But if we keep competing against each other, it's the clients that are going to take advantage of us. But
Good point.
yes, because we're in the service industry. Yes, so but if we work together, it's easier for us to manage the market and also
Okay.
manage the clients. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, have you heard? You're like, let's work together.
Yes,
Let's
we need to
share
work
this
together,
knowledge
yes.
together.
Share ideas, yes. Because we always learn. This kind of business never runs out of ideas. Every day is a learning experience. Every day you learn something new from each other, from someone.
Okay. And with the academy, I mean, you're training a lot of young people.
Yeah.
I know. How has the uptake been? A lot of people more, like, you know, when you started, you said your grandmother and your mother
Yes,
did
yes,
not understand what you were doing.
Yeah.
But what do you think the attitude is now for a lot of people who are getting into cosmetology and hairdressing?
Yeah, people are starting. They're just starting now to accept this kind of thing, to accept it properly. Because even the kind of students I get sometimes, not all of them, sometimes, parents reach out to you and say, my child has stopped in senior 4. She got pregnant, she's not going back to school, so we're bringing her to you. Or this boy, he's not in class, he's not studying. Like, it's more like, we still have that mindset from parents. Yeah.
Yet it's something that you can choose to do and,
So I'm
pursue.
always pushing them, especially these young people. I'm always pushing them to make it. Like, I always give them all the tricks. I show them how to handle clients, how to talk to people. Because it's always the small details that are always very important.
Yeah.
It's always training them to make sure like they come out very well, very nice.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. It was so nice to catch up.
It's always a pleasure to meet
And
you.
well done on your journey.
Thank you very
and
much.
big things
Thank you.
for Hair by Zziwa. Are your products Hair by Zziwa?
Yes, they're under Hair by Zziwa, but
Yeah.
we're calling it the Zziwa Hair Care Line.
Zziwa Hair Care Line.
Yes.
And on your arm, just share that with
Yeah,
us.
and substance abuse. Yes, it's from our past, our history.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you
And I
very
wish
much.
you all the best.
Thank you very much.